Hey guys, so we're gonna install today Evoque VQ 250RL, which is a 250cc, and I'm gonna show you how to just simply install a bunch of things. Mostly it's the front, bit of fairings and the battery. So in my other video, I'm gonna show you what to do with the battery. The battery comes with a container that you have to put in the battery and fill it up with the acid fluid. Don't poke the foil on it. Just pull the black cover, stick it into the battery, okay, and let it just fill up the battery. When it's done, make sure that it's done. Then just follow the video about the battery, how to charge. All right, hey guys, so to charge the battery, you need to charge the battery before you even want to install the bike. So what you want to do is you take the battery, it comes in a box with the acid fluid. So you take the battery out of the box and you're going to open that. Take this wrap out. You don't need that, that's garbage. But you want to keep that because later you're going to need to seal the battery. Now, if you look at these wraps in here, you want to make sure that everything is on top. Do not poke them, ever. Just leave them like that. Just make sure it's flat. Because the next thing you want to do is take this tape out of the battery. That's garbage too. Put this aside. And then what you do is you put in like that. Doesn't matter how you put it, like this or like that. You just put it like that, and then you really firmly push it in hard. It's a little bit hard, and you should see bubbles, right? Sometimes one of the cells will not do it, so you have to play with it, but you let all the fluid come down. The battery will feel warm a bit. That's okay, that's normal. It's from the acid. So we're gonna wait until everything is gonna be done. As you can see, the fluid goes down. Doesn't take that long. We wanna make sure that all the cells are empty completely. Okay, now I want to shake it a bit more to see if there's any fluids still left on the side as well. You can see, right? All right, and then when it's empty, slowly pull it out. Right? Be careful, it's acid. You don't want your hands with the acid touching. Put it in the garbage. Now, oops, you're gonna put that. Okay, I'm OCD, so I like to have the writing facing me. So you put it right there, nice and slowly, and start pushing one by one, right? Then you make sure that it's completely down, like that. Okay. Now, it doesn't say on the instructions exactly how to do with the charging, but from previous batteries that I charged before, and I did a bunch of them, let it sit for 2 hours just like that. If you touch it in here, it's going to be warm, but let it sit for a couple hours. And then what you want to do is use a charger like that it's like 2 amp. Okay, now this is a good one. I just bought it off of Amazon. This is if you want to buy that or something else, but this is a very good one. It's does everything by itself, and you just put it on 12 volt. It will show the motorcycle, so you can't go wrong with that, and it just does everything. So after 2 hours, just leave it like that, let it charge. When it's fully charged, it's going to show you that it's fully charged, and then off you go. You can put the battery and install it on the bike. Okay. Now, so let me show you some tools of what you need. I'm using a Impact because it's easy, 3/8 adapter. And then we're going to need a few sockets. One of them is going to be 10 mil, 8 mil. I also have the 8 mil dip socket with the adapter for that. But you can use ratchet, that's fine too. You're going to need this universal adapter as well at some places, especially where you install the battery. You're going to need a 17 socket, which is a 1/2 inch. Oh no, this is a 3/8, sorry, it doesn't matter actually. A 24 inch to drain the oil, because it's better to change the oil, which we use a Motul 7100 10W40 synthetic. Now I was surprised when I got it. I never seen motor oil that it's red, but apparently it is. But this is a good brand, so that's what I'm using. You can choose whatever you want. I prefer to use synthetic. There's other brands that are synthetic, so it's each his own, but yeah, that's what I'm using. Then we need a 19. Then we need like a flat screwdriver, a Phillips, a little poker, a ratchet, 1/2 inch you have. I have the also the extension. I also have a 19 socket with my torque wrench just to torque the front tire and torque it to 35 foot-pound. That's all you need. I got you need needle plier, vice grip, crescent wrench, 17, 14. That we don't need. It wasn't helpful on the other bike. That's the extension that I can use for this, to do that. Some places you're going to need extension, so it's good to have. 13 mil, 12 mil, 11, sorry, 10, and then an 8 and a 9. And then this is a very good tool that you're going to need, the Allen key. You're going to need a few of them. You're going to need a 4 mil, a 5, and a 6. So if you have a set like that, it's very handy because you can use the whole thing. Side cutter you're going to need, a plier, of course, utility knife. But the reason that I have this 2x4 block is because it's going to be very handy when we're going to do some installation, also to put it under the side jack stand to level the bike at some point. And okay, so we need also zip ties. Now this is a hitch shrink sleeve, which I'm going to show you where I put it, because I like to have my vehicles and my bikes really nice and organized, and wires are protected. So this is a good stuff to have. You can cut as many as you need and just you hitch shrink it, and it saves, you know, keeps the wires very good. Lighter, and good to have a butane always, just in case it's empty. So yeah, let's start unpacking. This is how it comes in a crate. So we're gonna take the wheel off. Put this in the garbage. And we're gonna cut a skid plate. And we can put it aside for now. And we're going to start cutting all the accessories that are coming with it. Be careful when you're cutting not to cut any wire or whatever. Very important. So these are the handle guards, which we're gonna install later. Put it aside as well. And this pack, which was in here, will contain actually your tools. Okay. Let me show you on my other bike that I installed, because I bought 2 of them. It's like a toolkit. It's a toolkit. So that's what it's going to be. And also, we're going to have the bolt for the front wheel. So we're going to open it. This is the toolkit. Okay, I'll show you. You put it away for now. And you got your bolt with the spacers for the front wheel. So we're going to put it just by the front wheel for now, just to keep it organized. And then we'll take the fenders. These are 2 side fenders we're going to install later. Take the wheel off, like that. Put it aside. So we're going to unbolt all these bolts from here. Okay. So that's a 10 mil. So what I'm going to do, it's going to be easier. So there's going to be a 10 mil, but there's a nut from the other side, which is, I believe, a 13. Oh, a 14, sorry. Okay. I'm gonna get my son to help me because he's just sitting. So come here, buddy. All right, so you're gonna hold that. That's Kevin, by the way. He wants to be a motorcycle mechanic, so he's gonna learn. There's another guy, nice Jamaican guy, awesome guy, but he shows how to put Loctite, and he used red one. Just so you know, red one is permanent. You don't want to put red Loctite on permanent on bolts and nuts that sometimes you're going to have to take off. So the best thing to do is use the blue one. It's good enough. It's holding. Don't need more than that. So just my opinion. Probably his opinion is the red, but it's okay. I'm using the blue, and it's good enough. Also, because most of the bolts have a lock plastic on them, so it's like a lock nut. So you don't need more than that.
What you doing there, mommy?
Okay. Take that out.
There you go.
Side.
As you can see, the frame of his bike. And we're assembling mine.
That out. I'm keeping all the bolts and nuts. You never know when you're going to need it for whatever other project, so it's up to you if you want to keep it or not, but I do. I always have some use for it. So, yeah. Alright, so now we're going to start from the front. Gonna make it much easier to install everything, especially the back wheel, because the back wheel you're gonna have to lift it up to bolt the shock, and the back is really heavy. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just start with the front, which is the handlebar. So And then we're gonna have your headlight. I'll show you some stuff how to install in here, how to tweak it much better, how to make it much nicer. Guess we don't need that for some reason, it's just here. So, you got your spacers. You're going to have to take them off. So on one of them come 4 washers, which you're going to need. You have to take this wet off as well, you don't need it. I'm just going to put it aside for a minute because we also want to install the front fender. The front fender is just underneath in here. I need to come here. Photographer lost the cord.
Oh, lost the cord. I'm not the best at this.
Sorry, guys. Okay, so we're gonna have the front fender, also the tail light. We're gonna take that. This is your tail light, which is also your license plate bracket. So just so it's not gonna be a problem, you can unhook it in here for now. Put it aside, and then my son is gonna lift it hard enough. Come on, buddy. There we go. So we're gonna pull that. So this is the front fender. Obviously they did a good job in here, but not on my bike. Oh, there you go. Little bit of something that I missed, but that's okay. So I'm gonna put the tail light, the headlight in here. Sorry. And we also are gonna cut the front caliper, which we're gonna install later. There we go. That's the caliper. I'm gonna show you also. So there's a spacer in here. Isn't it? I put it so you're not gonna blow the piston or you're gonna lose the brake pads. So make sure that it's there. Then I'm gonna show you what to do before you install it. Now, you got 8mm bolts in here, 2 in here, 2 in here. We're gonna take them out. So 8mm. Now, if you remember before, I showed you to use that, and that's especially for that because these 2 bolts go in here, and it's very, very small area, so that a 1/4-inch drive 8mm will fit really nice. So we're gonna put some Loctite on the bolts. Don't have to put much. Just like that. That's good enough. gonna put it in here. Now, you won't be able to push it, but you will be able to do it like a bolt screw, just a bit. Don't need more than that. Now, I'm gonna put it in an angle in, and then all the way. I'm gonna do this by hand. I'm not gonna tighten it yet. Now we're gonna put the bottom one. The reason that I didn't touch because I want to make sure that the bottom one are actually gonna line up. So again, I'm gonna put Loctite. So now I can tighten it. Tighten the bottom one. Doesn't have to be super tight, just enough that it's holding. Loctite will do the job. Now I'm going to show you where you need this poker or anything that you can just pull this out. I don't know why they put this piece of paper in here. Maybe when they painted, they decided to put it. That's it. Okay. Alright guys, I see that we have a problem. So I guess one of the wires just got pulled off. So I'm gonna have to pull this connector and fix it. So okay, I'm gonna pull it out, fix it, and I'm gonna show you later how to continue. Alright guys, so basically I pulled it. What you need to do is when it's like that, you need to push this tab flat and then you can pull it. So what I did is I clamp it again where I can clamp just the wire itself and then loop the part that actually gets in contact. And then I pull this back. Okay, and then what I'm going to do now is I am going to push it back. But before that, need to make sure that everything is good. And then I'm going to push it in here, back. Alright guys, so I end up pulling the tape. All I did is I strip it a little bit more, clamp the green pea part of it, and then loop around, and then that should be doing that. Then I'm going to put it back, make sure that it's clamping properly. Looks like it's good. Later we're going to check everything, obviously. Now, when it comes to all these wires, see this hanger? We want to put all that in here inside. So what we do is we're going to bend it a bit gently. Don't go overboard with that. And so what we're going to do with that is put it like that. Now, see these two notches? It's supposed to sit in here. But before that, what we want to do is put together everything nicely. This is cover that come with that, and it has a nice holes and also have already made up zip tie. So I'm gonna have to pull that and hide all the wire inside just to protect it. And this one we're gonna just bend it nicely. Now that I did that, make sure that it's all up like that, right? And tie it up really good. And I'm gonna put one in here as well on the bottom, just like that. So now it's both covered from both sides. Cut this piece. You can leave that, it's not a problem, but if you want, you can cut that too. Now, this piece is sitting under. So, to make it easier even, we can just stick the headlight out so we can see what we're doing. And what it is, it's 8 mil. So you're gonna need 8 mil, and there's a 10 mil nut in here. I always put the nut in the bolt together just to make sure that it's not getting lost. Now you can take just the headlight. Now what we're going to do is these ones, we turn it, that's your gas nozzle. Now, to make it easier to install, actually we can pull this out. Makes the life so much easier. So that's gonna be, I believe, 5 mil. Yeah, there you go. Also, it's gonna make it easier when you're gonna install your handguard. So I'll just take it off pull like that, and you can bring this, put this back, so that way you're not losing it and you don't worry about it. Oh, is that the one or it's not? Like it's easier. I'll take this off as well. So now look at these markings. So where we're gonna put these spacers, so we're gonna put one spacer in here, like that. That in here. This spacer in here. And that in here. And then we're gonna adjust it. So we want to make sure that they're fairly equal, just like that. Now, however you want to put it, forward more, back more, that's up to you. It's how it's more convenient. So we can let it go for now until we put this bracket. So again, we're gonna put some Loctite
On all four.
on all four, of course. That's right. This is the tricky part in here. To put this bracket just in between. Like that. So you put the washer first, and then the nut. Now, guys, like I told you, this is a luck nut.
1 second.
See this blue plastic in here? That means you only have a washer. You don't need a lock washer because this is a lock nut. And the Loctite is also going to help you, so it's more than enough. It's good. Put on the back of it. I guess so. You can put it, if the Loctite even on the nut, that's it's good enough too. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so now, we're gonna need the Allen key, which is a 6, and I believe the nut is a 13. Yeah, so we're just gonna tighten it slightly, one by one. You don't want to tighten just one side and then start the other side, because otherwise you're going to have so much big of a gap. Now we can adjust it just like that.
A little bit more for me.
Okay, so yeah, that's for my son-in-law, so he's gonna choose however he wants. Nope, we're gonna go with the marking. Just like that. So you want it forward like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna tighten the back first, and then it's gonna raise up the front, and then I can tighten the front, and then again tighten here, and then do the other side.
And these are adjustable anytime. Fine tune it.
Yeah. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold it in here and tighten it to my wrench. Do the same in here. Try here to do that. Maybe it'll be easier. I'll do the other one. Okay, so now what you want to do, and sometimes watch out because yeah, this goes out.
It just friction
So-
fits in.
Yeah, I just rubber, we just put it in. So now here's a couple of things you want to know. Don't do that. This is very loose. So what I did in my other bike, I put it in here like that. And it's like about a 12-inch, or sorry, maybe, yeah, it's about 12-inch zip ties. And we just strapped it around.
One.
And I guess you can do this a little bit lower and then just like that. Right. And now this is a big chunk of wire. So we want to see how we can make it nice like that. We can zip ties that. And we're gonna zip ties all of that together too. Just we have to put this first. So you can't really hide it nice and tight. So what I did is my other bike, I just tied it in here like that. That way it goes nowhere. Just like that. Just slightly to the side. There. There. So now we can put this cover back. And make sure that these two pins sitting in, and now I'm going to show you how to put it back. So, put Loctite on it. And that might not gonna be pushed, so I'm gonna have to bolt it. So I'm gonna do one by one. Yes. Just put it in place. Need the other one. Now, we'll take the 10 mil wrench. The other one. I'm gonna make sure that it sits properly, otherwise it's gonna cross the thread. One thing I wanted to do is this wire, you want to do this way. A little bit easier. So you can be sitting with all these wires together. Much nicely. Now we're going to zip tie all the wires nicely. Make sure that they are
out of the way of any
out of the
pinching.
way now. They supply a few small one, which we can use just for this particular thing. So for example, to do that, you don't need like a very big zip tie. That's good enough. I'm going to show you later how to adjust the clutch. My other bike, I found that in here. Let's see, maybe in here is the same thing. No, so this nut was all the way out loose. But I'm going to show you how to adjust it. It's super easy. It's not a big deal. You can cut that too. This is just to hold the foot peg. This is for the key. Leave it keys in here, and this is your lock in here for your steering.
Oh, what about tucking this up?
Yeah, we're gonna tuck this up too. So in the meantime, I'm gonna leave the key in the ignition. Secure, so every time you just steer, it's not gonna budge. We can take that. This is just warning about how to do, what to do. We basically live in Canada. We're using just regular 87. You can use whatever you want, but 87 is good enough. Shell gas station. Do not use any other ones besides Shell. Highly recommended. Gas is good. Never had any problem with that. Then in the bag, you're gonna have the breather for that. All you do is you just push it in here, just like that. That's it. These bolts will be for the skid plate. So I'm gonna put it aside. Now we're gonna take this bolt, just a bit. You don't need a socket. You just do that. Now if you leave it like that, you just that.
Do you want me to pick the bike up?
Not yet. We're gonna do that. Just like that. You can keep it if you want.
You want a free bolt?
Now, what we want to do is maybe best thing to do is pull the whole bike out.
Yes.
So we can jack it up. So guys, we're gonna just pull it out so we can jack it, and then we're gonna continue showing you what to do. I'm gonna just take this wire, just hold the rear wheel like that. We don't have to worry about that. And yeah, so you can see in here, just still holding in here. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do. The bolts are here. I'm going to put one bolt first and then this one. And I'll show you why. First of all, we're going to pull the bike out. All right, guys, so before we put the caliper, I'm going to pull this out. And you can use like a locking plier. All you do is you twist the pistons here, both sides, until it's completely down. Now you need to have this gap. And before we put the piston, there's no bolting, no nothing. All you have to do is, first of all, use grease. I'm using brake lubricant, which is the best thing. I'm going to use this brake lubricant for everything in here. I'm going to use that just to lube these sliders. Don't put too much. You just need a little bit. Now, what we do is we're gonna slide it at the same time. Make sure that it's on the rubber. Like that. Just like that. Now, here's what you're gonna do with that. This is the nut. This is the long spacer. It goes on the right side. This goes on the left side. So this is the left side. She's going to put it in here and put it in here. Oh my goodness. Okay. Looks like the seal is out a bit. So we're gonna gently push it in, very gently. That's it. So now we can put that in here. So remember, this is the right side. This is your brake rotor disc. Comes on the left side. So I'm going to put it with for just 1 sec. And again, we're going to loop that. Again, not too much. So now I'm going to bring the wheel. Now I'm using like a car jack. You literally can use motorcycle jack, that's fine. Okay, that sometimes happens. You want to make sure that it goes inside between the two pads. There. Now, even though it went out like that, look, you can still put it. Not a big deal. Bolts. So it looks like I need to jack it up a bit. Like that. Then we need like a 19 socket in here and a 17 on the other side. So I'm going to put Loctite again. I'm going to tighten it With my impact. Oh, I put a 17 by mistake, my bad. Don't have to tighten it too much because later we're gonna do torquing. So that's good enough. Now, spins. Yeah, we need to pump it a few times. Yeah, pump the brake a few times. Now it's gonna brake. Beautiful. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna drop it down. And we're gonna try to lift it from the middle. So then, you know, we can do the the shock. So, okay, so first of all, there is in here on the side a couple of things we need to cut. This is your shifter, your gear. Actually tell you where each gear is. So this one is actually like almost like a regular every standard bike, which means first gear down, one up is going to be neutral, and then second, third, fourth, fifth. This is a 5-speed gear, 5-speed bike. This is your foot peg. You just do that. Now this is your kickstand. I'm going to show you later how to install it. A little bit of fun to do that, but it'll work. Okay, so
I got the bike.
you can see now it's lifting the bike. Now, if you come in here, I'm gonna bring my flashlight. So as you can see, this one having a flat head, this one just a regular. What we want to do is attach this part to here first. So I'm gonna take this out. So you're gonna need a crescent wrench for the flat part. There's gonna be one zip ties in here. And then this is the other part that I told you. I'm gonna do that. Pull this out. It's a little bit tight in here for whatever reason.
Maybe we're not high enough.
Well, we can lift it high, but it's still tight. Let's see. lift it a bit more.
Maybe go from the other side so you can see his hands.
Okay, now it's lining up. So the flat, I put it from the other side. So before that, again, I'm gonna put some grease in here, Loctite in here, same on the other one. Okay, so like I said, you're gonna put a little bit of grease, not too much. Put it through, just like that. Put Loctite. Okay. Tight this. So I'm just filling it in here. Now I can put this part, but I'm gonna have to lower it a bit so it can reach. Sorry, no, lift it up a bit. So I'm gonna lift it, and when I see it line it up, and I notice that. There, just like that. So it's lining up. So again, I'm gonna put some grease. I'm gonna put Loctite. It wasn't lined up right, guys, so I just used like a pry bar, pry this side and hammer from this side, and now it's good. So I'm gonna tighten everything. Again, I can use my crescent wrench in here. And tighten it in here. Okay. So that's for that. So now we can install the jack,
Kickstand.
kickstand. This is the bolt. I believe it's a 19 or is it 17. Okay. Pull this out. There's only one way you can put it, obviously. Just like that, so when this is out, you know. So again, I'm going to put some grease in here, Loctite in here, just so everything is going to work really nice and smooth. Also, most of the time, grease prevent rust. Boris, can you pass me the paper towel, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
There you go.
Awesome. So, a little bit of a Loctite. Way. That's tight. We'll go a little bit more. So now we're going to put that piece. It's a 2-spring piece. We're going to put like that right here and pull. Now that's the tricky part, fortunately. This is why you're using a good vice grip. Good old vice grip.
Little persuasion.
Little persuasion, that's correct. So we're going to hold it right here. Tight, and we're gonna do that. That's one. I'm gonna persuade this one too. Just like that. And there you go. Nice and smooth. So we tied everything in here. Now, normally there will be some cover in here. Piece of cover, just pull it out. Don't pull the whole thing. Just pull just a piece of paper that protects it, just the protection part, and then go smoothly and tie it again from both sides.
Just a little decal they put on, make it look pretty.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little bit of a decal. So these are the wires for the back. Now, as you can see, that's mainly what we need for now. But this, I guess, is because this bike comes with some lights. What you want to do is, if you want to make it street legal, that's probably for your signals. So to make it street legals, basically you need signals in the front, signals in the back. You need to have a horn. You need to have 4 flashers, switch, and the rest of it, pretty much this is what you have. So, but I have a street bike, adventure bike, so I don't care about that. So this is not going to be used. We're just going to use that. And so now, the bugs, we're going to install this bracket. So basically, the bolts are right here. Allen key. So I'm going to get the Allen key. Since I need the light, I can put it like that, I guess. I'll just hang it. It will be a 5mm Allen key. Now it comes with a grommet. You can either put it on the bracket or underneath. I'm just going to put it on the bracket, because otherwise there's going to be a gap. So 3 bolts. Guys, what you can do is also sneak that in here, and later is going to be much nicer to install it. And super tighted because of the rubber grommet. Just holding a license plate, it doesn't have to be that super tight. It's good enough. So now we're gonna hook up the plug in here. Just like that. And again, because I like my stuff organized really well, I'll do that. But I'm also going to put electrical tape around it because it's good. Just to protect it from water and I'm going to use zip ties in here. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook one in here. I'm going to keep it. Really up on the railing here. You can come closer. For the frame, I'm going to do the same in here. And then I'm going to put another one in here. Just to hold the connector. So that's for the license plate brackets. Looks cool, looks professional, I believe. That's what you want to have, and this is where you're going to install your license plate. You're probably going to need the 2 bolts and nuts. It's easy, it's 10 mil, easy to find. Luckily I have lots of these because I always keep spares. So And as you can see, when I told you this is going to be a street bike also, you're going to need a license plate light. So I'm assuming that actually the other plug would be the license plate light. Plug it. So, and if you're really good and handy in doing some electrical on vehicles, you might gonna have to change this plug and just splice it and then put a different plug. It's super easy to do. Okay, so now what we're gonna do next, we're gonna install the battery. And to install the battery, we need to take one bolt in here, one bolt in here, and then we're gonna take the whole thing out because there's a bunch of things to do. But now I can lower the jack slowly, and then it's gonna be on a sidekick stand. But to level it, like I told you, we can do that. Fine. There you go. So that's a 10 mil. Then I'm going to take these two. That's going to be a 5. Put it away. So that might look weird, but this is your air filter. That's what it is. This is the bike. So at the other side, we're going to take it. So we're going to take the 10 mil from here, and there's one in here. 5 mil Allen key. And we're going to take it out, put it away. Now to pull the seat, you just slightly lift and pull out. And put it up. Put it away. Now, this is where you're going to put the battery. Okay? Now here's the tricky part. Is how to install that. This thing. So I found that it's easier just to pull this out first. Take these apart, which is an 8 mil socket.
I'll take the truck.
Guys, when you're taking these 8 mil, make sure these are not going to fall. So
Right.
when you take it out, make sure it's not falling, and I'll show you what I do. Oop, see, that's what happened. They're not tight. So I'm going to hold that. I'm going to take this out and just pinch it back and then put it again. I'll do the same to that. Pinch it down. This is always facing down, obviously, just like that. We can put this in here for now. And then I'm going to take these out. Otherwise you won't be able to install it. Again, this one, we're going to pinch, put it like that. Same in here. I can put this away for now. I'm going to put these away for now. Now, these will be installed in here. You see these two? I'm going to show you there's screws in here. Supposed to sit in here. One in here and one on the other side. So I'm going to pull that out so I can have some room. Just be gentle with that. Just gentle like that. Put it aside. So like I said, you know, if you look in here, there's two places. So what you want to do is you're going to cut that. And you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver. Now mind you, when you tighten it, okay, when you tighten it, it's plastic, guys. Don't go overboard. Okay? Just be careful, please. Four screws. Now, here's the tip for how to install that. You see how this sits in here? Install it inside, not out. Because if you need to adjust that, it's easier to push it this way, not in here. You won't have a room. So, just gonna put it like that. I was gonna put one, and then the other one. Now I can tighten it. Now I'm gonna go to the other side, do the other one. First one, make sure the second one is in place. Too many wires in here. I can do that. There's no room anyway, so we're going to go from here. So now I'm gonna install the battery. I'm gonna bring the battery. Alright guys, these are the bolts for the battery. Fortunately on my other bike, oops, somebody forgot to machine the bolt. But I have lots of bolts, so I found a replacement. As you can see, it's supposed to have a thread. It doesn't. But that can happen. So this, I have no idea what it is. So let's get rid of it. Maybe it's to do this. I don't know.
Random pin.
So we're gonna do that. And the battery is just gonna sit in here like that. So negative here, positive in here. So we're gonna install the positive first. And we're gonna put it like that. Then we're gonna put the big one first, small one like that. Tighten it really good, and obviously pull the cover and make sure that it is covered properly. I'm going to do the same thing with the negative. Now what we can do also, use a needle plier just to put it in like that. There we go. Then we're going to put that. Now it's for the tricky part of installing the bracket in here and also in here. So this bracket, so you see how it's bent like that? That means it's gonna be like this, not like that. Okay, this is how it's gonna face. So for that, we might gonna need a universal socket. But first, I'm gonna put it like that. So just one, and then put the other one before you tighten it. this is why you're using that, because there's not a whole lot of space. Not tight. So guys, like I said, no, it's a little bit of a struggle, but you can work it out. As you can see, the universal socket is really good. It's awesome. Now your battery is solid. So now we're gonna install this back. So we don't need that, we only need the socket.
That's easy.
And then next, we're gonna put this piece back. So that will face out. Then put it gently on there. There. That's good enough. But to make sure that it's actually working, I'm gonna do that. Look at the beautiful dash. Shows you neutral, RPM, speed, and
Mileage.
kilometers.
Because we're Canadian.
And with zero. So we're in Canada, so we're using kilometer. Now to change it, if you're in the States and you want to change it to miles, if you see this button in here, all you have to do is press and hold and watch yes. Boom. Change it to mile per hour and you're good to go. Okay? Then you press again. If you're in Canada, kilometer. This is your voltage. So it shows you between 8 volt to 16 volt. So that's about 13 volt, which is good. So that's for this now. Now these are adjustments for the front. I honestly wouldn't mess with that. There's no need for that. What you want to do is, if you want to, just one sec. To adjust your height on your shock, then you just untight the front, the first one, and then you go with this, the bottom one. You put it either higher or lower. We're probably gonna do this just to make it either hard or soft. So it's all the way soft. We're gonna make it a little bit harder. Just like that, and then we're gonna test it later. As I said, you know, there's two nuts in here. You're probably gonna have to use a flat and a hammer just to hammer the first one to untight that, and then play with it. Either you want it higher or lower to your height, to however you want. This, you do this, that. And now we're gonna put the seat back together, or maybe it's the best way to do this right now, I guess. It's easier to maneuver that from here. So that's probably what we're gonna do now. All right, guys, I'm gonna use a chisel for that. It's easier to work with. I'm gonna put my light in here, I guess. Use this exam, not really here. Just do that. So as you go, you see I tied it. Now, my son-in-law is a big boy, so I have to jack it up. All right, guys, so as you can see in here, come here, please. A little bit more in here. We went quite a bit down because my son-in-law is 6'4".
6'3", 6'4".
6'3", 4". And also we adjusted to hard, the shock. Now if we go down in here, right here, it'll show you that if you go slow or hard. Slow or fast. That means when you sit on the bike, the shock is either going to go slow and up and down or fast. So it's up to you. It's to your comfortability. You can adjust it however you want. This is the second decal, so make sure. Okay. So as you can see, we put the seat back. Make sure that the bracket it sits from the outside. We're gonna put the sides back.
And the new fairings, we have to make sure the seat's off and unbolt.
Yeah, so, yes, so, yeah, actually before we put the seat on, we have 4 bolts in here, one from the other side, and that for the side. Now, this bracket, you might gonna have to pry it up after you put the side fairing. So we're gonna take these 4 bolts and these 2 and that, and we're gonna install them. And just remember, when you put that, you might gonna have to pry it up so the bolt will fit. Super easy. It's light to push up, not a problem. So as you can see, I took this 8mm with this type of washer, keep it like that, and then there's gonna be a nut 10mm behind, just like that. I'm gonna keep it in here. Now, can I have this, please? I'm gonna put that piece,
Front fairing.
these 2, will sit right here. Okay. And maybe before that,
You put the rear on.
we're gonna put this side one in here. The reason that we put in that, because the other piece is gonna sit right here. So we're gonna put that in here. Just like that. I'll leave it like that for now. Now, see that piece is supposed to wrap around that, and this piece will sit inside that. Like that. And I'm gonna put these two. Not gonna completely tight it, we're just gonna put it. Just like that. And now we're gonna make sure that this fits. So now we can tighten that. So now we're gonna put that piece in here. Bolt. Hopefully it'll fit. Right in. I'm gonna have to persuade it. Tight. Now we're gonna do the other side. So again, we're gonna make sure that this goes in here. That is gonna lap right here. Okay. Now we're gonna install the seat. So we have to make sure this and that line in here and in here. So this will line in here, that will line in here. So we're gonna put it like that. And slowly start to push it. Now we know that it's tight. Now we want to make sure the bracket is in here and also in here. And what happened is I'm going to put that header.
I'll make sure this tucks up underneath the seat.
And then this stuck underneath the seat. That's right. Then again, we're going to need a 10mm socket. do the same thing from the other side.
Where do you go?
So that's for that. So now, before we continue everything, we're gonna torque this nut. So we're gonna need a 19 and a 17 wrench. So we're gonna put it in here. This in here. And then it's torqued. And after a little bit of a ride, we're gonna retorque it again. Okay, so we're gonna do the oil change as well, because you know the oil that comes in here is good for maybe an hour or so, but it's better to change the oil. But for some reason they really tight the dipstick, so I'm gonna just untight it with the plier, really gentle. That's just like that. And this is how the oil is going to be, but because I'm using Mutol is red, so yeah. And then go to the other side. I'm going to show you the drain plug. So if you look down, this big one, the 24 mil, is the drain plug. Now you gotta be careful because it's spring loaded. So when we're gonna take it out, it's gonna be pull. So be careful when you pull it out. Okay. So I'm gonna just take it very, very slow. Now you can use just an old jug, cut it off, or if you have an oil pan to drain the oil, it doesn't matter.
Whatever suits your fancy.
Yeah. So as you can see, slowly I'm going to take it out. And there you go. This is your spring. Oops.
And there is a filter in there.
There's a filter in it, yes. It's like a strainer.
Yeah, it's more so a strainer than a filter.
Yeah, it is a strainer, which is a good thing.
Easy to replace.
Also, the other reason that we're replacing the oil, there is some chips from factory, which is very common. Well, it's normal. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna pull the strainer out. Put it down, there we go. And then it's gonna drain faster. And that's the strainer. As you can see, there's chips. Yep. Just gonna clean it. Let it dry. Drain all the way. You can see the oil. It's a little bit too brown and too kind of milky.
No.
So that's why it's good to change the oil. Now it's dripping. That's how you put it. Not the other way around. It's facing out. Put it back slowly. Just a bit. Now I'm going to just wipe it off. Do that. I'm going to clean it with a brake clean, obviously. I'm going to put it back. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit of a brake clean. Now,
Time to add our oil.
add oil. And it takes about a liter and a little bit. So I'm putting a liter. Then check the dipstick. So when you check the dipstick, put it in, thread it all the way. It doesn't have to be tight, just thread it, that it's all the way. Pull it up again and then see that it's right here. If it's a little bit in here, that's good too, because when you start it, it's supposed to run a little bit oil to the engine. So it would go down a bit, so that's okay. But I'm gonna put a liter and then check, and if it needs a little bit more, I'm gonna add more.
Alright. Now we put our funnel in the dipstick area. That's how you fill up the oil.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to pull the funnel very slowly. Put it back in the jug. That way it's not leaking everywhere. Then I'm going to put it back. Just like that. Thread it back. That's it. Put it back. So checking both sides, and it needs a little bit more. Okay, guys. There you go. That's good enough. Level good enough. I'm going to put it in here. Don't force it, make sure. Oh, that's best I died. That's okay. We can put the oil away. Now we're going to start it.
Okay, put our gas in first, and then we'll start it.
Okay, so now we're going to show you everything how it starts. So you got your valve in here, which is off position, reserve, and on. So we're going to put it on. Here's your filter in here. Clear, nice. Here's your truck. So the first time, go up all the way. You click in here, and you turn the key.
Make sure it's in neutral.
Yeah, let it do the cycle,
Uh-huh.
and then okay, mine not gonna start on full, so
choke.
go half choke. Give it a little bit of the gas. All right, she's running now. We'll start again. A little bit.
Temperamental. There you go.
Full choke. Maybe let it run a bit. All right, so now we're gonna show you how to adjust the clutch. So everybody will have a different, feeling. So you want to do, first of all, on the handle in here, pull this rubber, and you want to adjust that fairly like that, and then tighten that. Okay. You can have this channel plier. Okay. And what you can do is you hold that and you just tighten that a little bit, and then it's good. Also, that's another adjustment, just to hold the handle further up so it'll be nicer and firm. You can adjust that too, either to go up more or in more. Depends on you. It's up to you. It's however you feel better. Also, if you come around, there's going to be an adjustment right here. This is your adjustment for the clutch. So we fairly like it like that. You can just untighten that and untie that. Now, if you want to tighten it more, so you will, change, the gear. Well, not change the gear, but when you pull the clutch, it's going to get into gear. Just depends on your flexibility on your hand. So if you want it a little bit further, what you do is you tighten it up with a 12 wrench. So you tighten it up as you untighten this all the way, not all the way, but just like firmly, loose. Then you keep tightening it this way, and then it's gonna pull it. If you like it a little bit this way, closer, you just untie that and then tie this back down. So it's up to you. It depends on your comfortability. So that's for the clutch. Another thing we're gonna do is we're gonna install the handlebar. But before we're gonna install the handlebar, just a sec, here's one thing I want you to do. I like the wires to be very nice and protected. So this is what we call heat shrink sleeve. And what I want to do is, because this is your wiring for your brake. And so what I did is I took a piece of that, put it on, and all you have to do is you just take a lighter and you heat shrink it, and it protects the wire much better than it was before. And then you just put it back. There's two colors in here. There's green and there's black. Just make sure you put them back into place, and that's all. For your front brake light. That's all it is. So now we go for the handlebars. This is the package that contains the handlebars. So we're just gonna unpack it, and then we're gonna show you exactly what to do with the hardware. All right, so this is all the hardware, and you have this one will go on the right, sorry. As you can see, that goes in here on the right. And then the other one will go obviously on the left. So these ones, what you need to do, they come like that. So you pull this plastic, you don't need that. You throw it away. This is just to hold it. And then what you need to do is take these pieces and just put them in here like that. And same thing on the other one. Now, you untight that. You pull this out. You take these, put it in here like that, and you put this in here, and that, just like that. So this will face in, and it's going to hold like that. Now, remember, this one was like this. That's not how you want it. You want it to be like that now. So when you tight it, it's going to open that, just like this. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. Just going to have to put it like that. So again, see how it was? This is how it comes. So I'm going to pull it out like that. Pull this out. Put this in here. Sorry. Oops. Come on. In here. Put the bolt in. This piece. Sit in between the groove like that. And that part goes screwed in. Now, see these pieces? This bolt's supposed to be in here like that. They're like this or like that. You will see how I'm gonna install it. Depends on how the handlebar will take it. It does not matter. But the fact is that unfortunately these bolts are long. So you're gonna have to cut it short a bit. Because when you put it and you tight it, it's still loose. So short it up a bit. Now, you see these? No idea what it is. There's no particular reason to have it. So, garbage. Don't need it. So I'm gonna cut it short a bit and then we continue our video later. Alright, so now guys that I short it up, you can actually do this on a bench grinder and just grind it a bit, but when you grind it, after you grind, just shave that like in an angle on the side of that. So now you can put it in here. I'm just holding it because it's still hot, but other than that, if it's cold, it's not a big deal, it's okay. And I'm just gonna put it like that just to start it. A little bit tricky after you do that, but it'll work. Okay, now that I just started, now I can use my Allen key. It's a 5 mil. Oh, it's going up again. I want to make sure that it's actually lined up really nice. There we go. I'm just gonna put it in. Not gonna tighten it real tight.
Just close enough.
Close enough, just so we can play around with that. So that's good enough. So for that, we're gonna need a number, 6. That's why I like the set, because on the set you have number 4, 5, and 6. So we're gonna put this first in here. Insert that. Sorry, wrong side. So left side. Now you can see how it sits in here. So these are the bolts to these. So we're going to take one and just put it like that. Again, let's just do it gently. And if it's not sitting really nice, you can twist it like that even. So now you can play around with it much easier. So just, sometimes it's a little bit tricky. And use the number 4 first, just to start it, just so you will hold it. And then we go for the other one. A little bit at a time on each side. You don't want to do one side more than the other. So I'm not going to tighten it still. I'm just going to make sure that it sits nice, it fits, covers your hand, just like that. Good?
A little bit lower.
Lower, okay. There you go. Everybody has his own, you know.
There.
Yeah. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten it. Just going to tighten it a bit. Okay. And then I'll go tight this first. And the reason for that, because you see how it's shifting that way? We want to push it all the way and want to tighten this first, and then we can play around with that. So again, a number 6 in here. And if we do that, just going to pull that. I'll make sure that it doesn't go. Make sure your handle is turning nicely. That's the height that you want.
It needs to go up more.
Yeah,
That way.
we can play high. Good.
Yeah, right there.
Good.
Maybe a little more there. Yeah, right there. That's
And then
perfect.
again, I'm gonna tie these. And then tie that.
Yeah, you don't want to do one.
You don't want to tight everything way too much, just so it won't move. That's all it is. And then you tight. The last thing is going to be this one, which is a number 5. That's it. And then you do the same on the right side. It doesn't matter which side you start. You can start any side you want, adjust it the way you want, and just follow the same thing on the right side. Then we're going to show you how to put this back. Took it back before, might as well put this back. The reason that we took this out, which is this, that piece is also, we can put these easier, nothing is on our way. So I like the name facing out nicely this way. So we're gonna pull this. Put one side back.
Don't fully tighten it because we still have to do the other side.
Yeah. And just go like that. There we go. So probably gonna have to bring it a bit up. Make sure that it sits nice and centered. Just like that. Just hold it, and then now, again, I'm gonna do the same thing in here. Awesome. We're gonna have to take this out. We're just gonna have to lift it. And so you don't have to look for the bolt. We're just gonna slightly hold it in here. So again, we're gonna put this in here. And put this back together. And just gonna look. Yep, looking good. Now we can tie these. That's tight enough. That's good enough. We're gonna show you a couple more things. This is accessories, if you like. One of them is gonna be like a lock for your helmet. Also, we're gonna install a cutoff switch for the battery. I think it's a good thing to have it. Just because sometimes, you know, life or not, you know, present to us enough time to go dirt biking or just riding this bike. So it's good if you just cut off the power from the battery. That way you're not draining the battery. Super easy to do, right? You can buy these cutoff switches from literally Amazon. I bought 2 of them for, I can't remember, about 15-20 bucks. And then the helmet lock, I'll show you. I bought it off of a website called Shin. It was like a few bucks, cheap enough. It's good enough. So let me show you how to do the rest of it. So these are the handles. I'll come around and show them how it looks like. It looks good, looks nice. So literally this is the helmet lock. All you have to do is pull the parts apart. Super easy, nothing much into. Even come with the Allen key for you. Come with like just to put it in here to protect your handle guard. You can just glue on one piece in here, cut it in here. Just glue that on this piece. On the other piece, you can't really glue it, but just put it on just to protect your handlebar. That's super easy to do. Here's your bolts and lock washers. Super easy installation. Okay, so I'm just gonna prepare that and then we continue from there. All right, so what we want to do is face this up. I think on the bike you can put it right here is enough room compared to here. It's not enough room. I think also it's gonna be nice when you put it in here and then you can flip the helmet and then it's just gonna sit nice on the seat compared to just sitting in here and just wreck, you know, the fairing. Now, as you can see, I just glued like double side glue in here. So I just put this glue, but on that side, I'm not gonna do this. It's not gonna hold. There's nothing much to hold. It's just gonna put it like that. Okay. That's simple. Again, make sure that the key facing up. Just do it like this. And then we're gonna put the bolts. One side in here, the other side. And you can flip it even like that just to start it. Now, you can just turn it as much as you want. Just like that, it's good enough. Bring it a little bit up so you can reach. And then you're just going to start tightening it. A little bit in here, a little bit in here, until you feel it's tight and it's good enough. And then I'm going to show you how it works. Okay, so I'm going to do that and then we're going to show you how it works. All right, guys, so there you go. All you have to do is you put it in here, do that. You put your helmet clip in here, turn it. There you go. Now you have a lock. Okay. If you go around, another important thing in here is the gear shifter. It's a little bit too high for your foot. So if I sit in here, come here. You see, if I sit on the bike, you can literally see like it's way too high. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop it a few teeth down. I think it's about 3 or 4 of them, until you feel like it's easier to just do that and not like way up and it's not comfortable. So what you need is literally ratchet, 8mm socket, and you go under in here and you just untied it gently. Just take this out. Completely. Now you can pull it. Just do that a bit. I think this is going to be around that. Put it back, just temporary. Just like that. Now, let's see if I sit. Let's see how it feels. Yeah, much nicer. Even to shift down, it's easier. So that's a great adjustment. I think I'm going to leave it like that. And then all you have to do, just make sure that it's flush in here. Hold it with the thumb like that. Keep tightening it. Okay. Now be careful not to over tight everything in here. That's good enough. It's tight, it's good, it's not going to move. Just so you know, this is spring loaded. And when it comes with a zip tie in here, so you're going to have to cut it. So just be careful when you cut it, don't put your hand in here. Just cut it, let it go. Same thing with this foot peg. Spring loaded. Be careful with everything that it's spring loaded. You know, don't hurt yourself. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna install the skid plate in here. Now the bolts for that will come in the back of your manual. See these bolts and these bolts and washers. Okay, all you need is 3, and this is your skid plate. Okay, and it goes like this. So these two, 1, 2 will go 1 in here, and there's 1 in here. You're gonna see in here there's a room to put it under. A little bit hard to see from here, but there it is right here. Right here. This is what you want to do. So again, this is, I believe, 8mm. So you can use a ratchet. I use my impact, it's easier. I'm just starting to tighten by hand and then go with my impact, it's faster. Just be careful with impact, you can literally break it, so just go nice and smooth. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in and then I'll show you how it looks. There you go, guys. This is how the skid plate looked like. Installed. 3 bolts, easy to install. Not much into it. Now the next thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna show how to install a cutoff switch for the battery. That's exactly, again, up to you guys. You don't have to put it. I just put it for the sake of saving the battery. So basically we're gonna take the seat out. We're gonna take that side fairing out, as well as the other one. And then I'm gonna run it through here, and then eventually it's gonna seat in here, right here. So the cutoff switch is this. That's the cutoff switch. That'll be, as you can see, on and off. So this is your key. easier to understand how to put. If you see this notch, again, on, off, see this notch. Now, the set that I bought, I don't know why, for whatever reason, one of them is always, this pin is just popping out this way a bit. You can literally take a plier and just pinch it in. So now you can put it like that. And then you push and turn. Now it's on. Okay? So, the wire that comes from the battery, and I'm going to show it, comes to the on. And then the other wires will connect with the original positive battery together, and I'm going to show exactly again how to do this. Will be plugged in here. Okay, and then it's going to be sitting right here, just like that. Okay, I'm going to pry that a bit up, just open it more so I can put it in, just like that. Okay, and then zip tie one at a time, one in here to here, and the bottom one to here. You might as well take this off, just this bolt. Again, it's easier, just 8 mil and a 10 mil nut in here. Easier to take it out, that way you have much room to play with. So, okay, so again, I'm gonna take the seat out, 2 bolts, 10 mil. I'm gonna take these 2 Allen key in here, pull this out, pull the other side out, and then we continue from there and show you how it goes. All right, so what you want to do, guys, it's to buy 10 gauge wire. This is what you need to connect the battery, and we're gonna measure how much wire we need. I'll show you how to do this, but first thing first, we need to disconnect the battery. Now, to make it easier, I'm just gonna do that. Just gonna unplug that, and I can move it away, and then it's easier to move everything. So I'm gonna untight that. But be careful that the other piece will not fall off. To keep this safe. So we're going to put it aside for now. Okay. We're going to need a bolt and nut, not too big. I happen to have some old battery bolts like the one that sits in here with a nut, so I just kept them, and then I'll use that. But all you need is like a small bolt and a nut, you know, and just tighten these together. I'll show you how to do this. All right, so guys, like I said, I took this out. I'm just gonna pry that out a bit. I can use like general pliers, and I have another one, so it's easier. What I'm gonna do is too big. Let's hold it in here, and then just try it. Just to open that, that's all we need. So to make a space for the cutoff switch, so we can put it like that. Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, 10 gauge, and I'm gonna run it like that. I'm gonna run from here, just like that. And later I'm gonna run both of them like in here. Then, and yeah, so I'm gonna just cut the wires for the length, and I'm gonna show you exactly how we do that and how we connect it, okay?
3, 2, 1.
All right, so we're gonna need some electrical tools, stripper, crimper, and some connectors. And here's what I'm gonna do. Just gonna strip one wire, and that's gonna be connected to here. Now what I wanna do also, pull this out. We don't need it in here. We're gonna use it on this wire that goes straight to the battery. So we're gonna leave it in here for now, and that's gonna be this. Oops. See, this one is a smaller ring than the others. That's all you need. So I'm gonna, it's about, the wires are about 3 foot. Should be enough, more than enough. And yeah, so I'm gonna just strip that, crimp these, and then I'm gonna show you exactly the wires, how to connect where and what to do with it. And you're gonna need electrical tape as well, just to tape the positive wires so you're not gonna touch the negative or any ground on the frame. Okay, so I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to continue. All right, guys, so so what I did is I fished the wire like that, as you can see under, goes like that down, and then eventually I'm gonna hide them in here, zip tie them, and that's how you want to do this in here. And later this is gonna sit in here. But for now, so the cable that comes from the battery, which is this, with the small one, will go to the on position, and then this cable will, this one will connect with these two. So here's how we do it. So like I said, you know, I found this, I always keep bolts and nuts. Just this small, doesn't matter what kind of bolts you put in, there's nothing into it, as long as it's a bolt and nut. And all you do is you take that, you put it in here, and you put the bolt in here, and then you're going to put this in here. Just tight it. Now on the cutoff switch I didn't tight anything yet. I just temporarily put it because I want to make sure that everything is going to work, even that. We're going to tape that later as well. Now we're going to take that one, put this, like I told you, in here. Just do that this way. That way it's easier. Then we're going to put the bolt in here. Just make sure. So now everything is connected. We're going to connect this later. We're not going to start it. We're just going to see that it is power, right? So, as you can see the dash, put it a little bit higher. Now if I do that, there's no power. As soon as I'm going to do that, go in here, I'm going to turn on the cutoff switch. Right away, there is light in the dash. If I turn it off, boom, goes off. That means that it's good. So I'll leave it off now, and I'm gonna fix all the wires in here. I'm gonna put electrical tape around that, zip tie it nice in here. This one I can just tie it right now. Just do that, and then obviously cover that to protect the positive. And again, I'm going to do the same thing in here, like that. Just put electrical tape, zip tied it in here. Do the same in here on the cutoff switch. Put a lot of electrical tape after I will tie it, just so it's not going to be exposed. I'm going to go around. Don't go around this, because this is the one thing that's going to sit right here. Okay, just go around the nuts and around the wire. Make sure that it's nice and insulated, and then take one zip tie in here, one zip tie in here, and just zip tie to the bracket. Put this thing together, and then we're gonna zip ties in here, shove it in here, and that's pretty much it. All right, guys, so I just secure everything in here, and in here I tucked it in here nicely. And also I attached that, this is called like aviation cable with this hardware that you just put in, and you just crimp it with a side cutter, so that way you're not losing it, and then you can still, you know, put it in here, right, and then still tight it, even if you do that like this, and then when you tight it, that's how it's like this. And when you're done using the bike, you can just take it off, put the dust cover on, super easy. There you go. Okay, so we're gonna put all the fairings together in the seat, and that should be it. That's the whole bike, and super easy. Just let me know in the comments if you have any more questions. Subscribe, and I'll be happy to help you out. Awesome, guys. Thanks.